If you want something to set the mood this Halloween, something eerie, atmospheric, or just plain unhinged, you're in luck. We went through everything streaming on Tubi right now and put together this list of favorites. Some are classics, some are cult hits, but all of them are perfectly suited for a late October binge, and they remind you why Halloween was made for horror fans in the first place. Dario Argento marked his return to the giallo style of horror with 1982's Tenebrae. This time, he trades witches and occult nightmares for something colder and more clinical. Anthony Franciosa plays an American novelist visiting Rome to promote his latest book, only to discover that someone's using his stories as a template for murder. As the investigation unravels, so does everyone involved, and Argento leans into the madness with style to spare. The camera prowls, the lighting pops, and every scene feels a little too polished to be safe. The city feels like a maze of glass and steel, where every reflection is hiding something. It's suspenseful, weirdly beautiful, and pure Argento from start to finish. Before Halloween and Friday the 13th, there was Black Christmas. Set inside a sorority house during winter break, it starts with a simple phone call and ends somewhere more sinister. The girls think it's just another prank from a creep who won't stop calling, but someone's already upstairs, and he's not leaving. Directed by Bob Clark, who directed A Christmas Story and Porky's. It stars Olivia Hussey, Margot Kidder, and Keir Dullea. The violence is quick and messy, but don't let the title fool you. While it may be set at Christmas, the mood is pure Halloween. The Howling is what happens when you hand a werewolf movie to someone with a real sense of humor and a love for monster movies.
Hello, Bright Boy.
Director Joe Dante, who would go on to make Gremlins, The Burbs, and Inner Space, loads this thing with style, paranoia, and some of the best practical effects of the era. Dee Wallace stars as a news anchor recovering from a traumatic run-in with a serial killer. Her therapist sends her to a quiet retreat in the woods to recuperate, and of course, it's anything but quiet. The tone shifts between pulp and nightmare in a way that keeps it from getting stale.
I have silver bullets in here.
Silver bullets, Myers.
And the transformation scenes still hold up over 40 years later. It's strange, clever, and a little sleazy. Exactly what you want around Halloween. Night of the Demons opens on Halloween night, when a group of friends decide to throw a party inside an abandoned funeral home called Hull House, a place rumored to be cursed. Things start out rowdy enough, until a seance unleashes something that was better left alone.
You idiot! It was just starting to work.
I swear I saw the mirror turning black.
Hey, I saw too.
From there, it's a non-stop descent into chaos as the guests turn into demons one by one, trapped inside with no way out. Directed by Kevin Tenney and starring Kathy Podewell, it's pure late 80s horror excess, gooey effects, over-the-top characters, and a wicked sense of fun. It's the kind of movie that doesn't pretend to be classy, just entertaining in all the right ways. Another great Dario Argento movie is Suspiria, made in 1977. It's one of those movies that feels like a nightmare you wake up from, but can't quite shake. Jessica Harper stars as an American dancer who transfers to a prestigious ballet academy in Germany, only to realize something far darker is happening behind its ornate walls. Every hallway seems alive, every sound slightly wrong, and every color dialed up to fever pitch. Argento directs it like an opera of blood and light, where beauty and horror blur together until you can't tell them apart. It's hypnotic, violent, and unforgettable. One of those rare horror movies that looks just as incredible today as it did in the 70s. 1987's Hellraiser begins with a man named Frank, who opens a puzzle box and ends up torn to pieces by something that definitely isn't from this world. When his brother Larry moves into the same house, a drop of blood accidentally brings Frank back. Sort of. What's left of him hides in the attic, depending on Larry's wife Julia to lure in victims so he can rebuild himself. Written and directed by Clive Barker, it's a small story that feels huge thanks to its mix of domestic drama and nightmare imagery. And once the Cenobites arrive, led by the unforgettable Pinhead, it stops feeling like any horror movie you've seen before. Five friends head to a cabin in the woods for a quiet weekend in 1981's The Evil Dead. They find a strange book in the basement, play a recording of ancient incantations, and accidentally unleash something that wants them all dead, or worse. What follows is a blur of screaming, laughing, and blood in every direction. Directed by Sam Raimi and starring Bruce Campbell, The Evil Dead feels like the movie itself is possessed. Every shot moves like it's alive, dragging you through the chaos with everyone else. It's rough, loud, and a little ridiculous, but that's exactly what makes it so much fun. George A. Romero's Day of the Dead finds what's left of humanity hiding underground, trying to hold on to order while the world above belongs to the dead. A handful of soldiers and scientists share a bunker in the Florida Everglades, but the real danger isn't outside. It's what's happening between them. As tempers flare and trust breaks, one side turns to experiments and the other to threats, each convinced they're the last sane people left. When the dead eventually find their way in, the chaos feels almost inevitable. It's claustrophobic, angry, and soaked in decay, the kind of movie where survival doesn't feel like much of a victory. In 1974's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a van full of friends heads through rural Texas to check on an old family grave. But the trip turns sour fast. They pick up a strange hitchhiker, run low on gas, and stumble onto a farmhouse that looks abandoned, but isn't. What's waiting inside is a family that's long past sanity, led by a chainsaw-wielding butcher who never says a word. Directed by Tobe Hooper, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre feels hot, loud, and almost documentary real, like you're trapped in the van with them. There's not much blood, but the sound, the pacing, and that suffocating heat make it one of the most disturbing horror movies ever made. Once it starts, it never really lets you breathe again. The Changeling starts after a terrible accident claims the wife and daughter of composer John Russell, played by George C. Scott, and he moves into a massive old mansion in Seattle to start over. The house is quiet at first, then begins to make itself known, pounding sounds at dawn, running water, and something moving behind a locked door. When John uncovers a hidden attic and a child's music box that plays his own melody, it's clear the haunting is personal. As he digs deeper, the story behind the ghost turns from the supernatural to the disturbingly human. Directed by Peter Medak, The Changeling is slow-burning, elegant horror, driven by atmosphere, grief, and one of Scott's best performances.